starting over or are you just being rerouted? Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss if we're being rerouted or do we have to start over, as well as what that looks like to us, with some recommendations, reminders, and disclaimers. So starting off with the introduction, starting off with the question, starting off with the title and the topic of today's video. Do we have to start over or are we being rerouted? I'm going to go first, and my answer is I didn't have to start over necessarily. I was being rerouted and I was being redirected. A lot of times you think that you're starting over in life when you've already started and you can't go back. You can't change what has been done. Let me say that again. Let me say it slower. A lot of times we feel like we constantly have to start over in life because we made certain choices, we did certain things in our past, and maybe we weren't too proud of, maybe we weren't aware of, maybe we didn't have the resources and the tools and the guidance and the wisdom that we have now. So instead of thinking that you're a failure or that you're too old or that you're too far behind in life, accept the fact that you are learning, you are growing, and because life is about living, there's no one size or right or wrong way to live your life. You're just experiencing. You don't have to beat yourself up or be upset or ashamed that you have a past, because everybody does. Like who you are as a baby, as a newborn, as a toddler, as a teenager, even as an adult, you're constantly going to learn and be exposed to certain things, which means you're going to change. You're going to evolve. Like you may not always be who you once were because you've been exposed to certain things, whether they were negative or positive, and that is okay. Like you don't have to be labeled or defined in one way. You have to realize that when it comes to you just learning to do what makes sense to you, is that it's okay for you to learn. When you learn certain things, it's okay for you to take your time. It's okay if you figure things out at an early age, or you have to figure them out as you're going. Like you don't have to label yourself to one way of living or to think. So it's just like when it comes to asking yourself if you're having to start over or being rerouted, learn how to be open-minded. That is what has helped me along my healing journey. You guys, I have my phone like in front of me, so I like know what I'm talking about. Okay, what has helped me along my healing journey was just accept that I've had to learn certain things when I learned them, and that doesn't make me or you less of a person. That just means what we went through is what we went through. And like I said, you can't go back in time. Like you can't change what you've already been exposed to. You can't unsee something once you see it. So the second recommendation and disclaimer is just knowing that it's okay to learn. It's okay that you've had to experience certain things. Like this is also a part of who you're gonna end up being in this life. With every opportunity that you have, with every environment, with every person and place or thing, it's an experience within itself. So it's just like beating yourself up and feeling like you have to start over just because things didn't work out in the past or how you wanted them to is unhealthy, and it's not going to help you move forward. So the third thing you have to realize is that when you're quote unquote starting over in your life, you have to take your time, because it's like you are learning. You are letting go. Learning and unlearning requires a lot of energy. It requires a lot of effort. It requires just your existence, your presence. And when you've gone through ups and downs, or when you've gone through people and places and things and environments that weren't healthy or positive or were draining you, learning to let go of these ideologies and these beliefs and these morals is going to take time. Like a lot of people do not understand, like if you grew up, let's just say in poverty, in an environment that is considered to be impoverished or less fortunate, and mentally, emotionally, consciously, subconsciously, that's all you pick up on. And one day you decide that you don't want to live this way, you have to realize if you've been installed beliefs or taught to live or think a certain type of way for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, it's going to take time for you to deprogram and to release. Why? Because that's all you knew. So this is why a lot of people who live in poverty areas, let's just say financially, feel the way they do when it comes to people who may have more finances, or people who are around them. And it's not to compare or contrast or bring capitalism or elitism or status into it, but unfortunately, because there's confusion and division, that's how people perceive life. Like, people only know what they know. People only know what they've been taught and shown. So if you grew up in dysfunction and, like I said, you want to become healing and positive, you have to realize you have to let go of certain people. You may have to move physically out of your environment that caused the dysfunction. You may have to stop talking to certain people, places, and things. You're going to have to change the way you look at life. You have to change the way you're living. So when it comes to doing that, it is just an experience. Like, you don't have to rush your life. When you are being redirected, that is the purpose of you being redirected, was to realize, you know what? I grew up a certain type of way. I used to think a certain type of way. I used to believe in certain things, and you don't want to believe in it no more. When you change your mind, when you open your mind and you align yourself with who it is that you genuinely want to be, you'll start making the changes. It becomes simpler. It becomes clearer. But it's like, in order for you to do that, you have to stop being hard on yourself. You have to stop beating yourself up. Like, you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive your past. That is the third or fourth thing. Until you learn to forgive your past and who you once were, and you are able to evaluate and see yourself from your higher self and your current self by accepting your past self, you're gonna feel like, oh, I constantly have to start over, or I'm too old, or I have to compare myself, or I gotta care about people who are not even for you. And I'm telling you guys, as you're constantly figuring out what you want to do in this life and how you want to live your life, your mind is always going to change. People are going to come and go. It's really important that when you are being redirected, that you become aware. Because until you become aware and educated and equipped, it's going to be a cycle. So no, I don't believe that I had to start over in life. And I've made a video at the beginning over a year or 2 years ago when I started this channel talking about starting over. And where I'm at now, I didn't have to start over. I just had to accept the fact that I'm learning, I'm growing, I don't know everything, I don't feel like I need to know everything, and that it's okay. Like, my life is for me. Your life is for you. Like, it's not going to look like everybody else's. So the best thing that you can do when you're being redirected is making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are patient with you, who are willing to give you grace, who are willing to pour into you or to teach you things, or are teachable, who are educating you, you know, financing you and helping you do well. If people are not pouring into you, it doesn't matter what they think. If people are not willing to help you, like help you with certain resources without any hidden motives, hidden attachments, any strings attached, it doesn't matter. You're not far behind in life. Like, people have to stop looking outside of themselves and comparing themselves to people. Because if these people really loved you and cared about you, why would they want you to compare yourself to them? Why would they make you feel bad about knowing certain things that you don't know? Why would they make you feel bad about having to learn things by yourself that they've been taught and shown? Because once you realize everyone doesn't know everything and people only know what they've been taught and shown, you're not going to feel the need to compare yourself to people. Like, you're not going to feel like, oh, I had to start over at the age of 17, or I had to start over at the age of 30 or 25, or how. Like, you're not going to feel the need. And I personally never felt the need to compare myself to people, but I've realized I'm not starting over compared to people that I went to school with or any of those things, because they didn't live the same life as you. When you go through trauma, when you go through dysfunction, when you grow up in a chaotic environment, your life doesn't even look like a lot of other people's lives, and vice versa. If you grew up privileged, if you grew up with a silver spoon, if you grew up fortunate, you grew up with everything handed to you, your life is not going to look like other people's life. That's where the division comes in. An example of this is like people who consider themselves to be higher class or middle class or lower class. People are people at the end of the day, and when it comes to finances, your wealth has your wealth has nothing to do with status. Like, being wealthy has nothing to do with money, okay? Like, because people are people at the end of the day. Rich people, poor people, black people, white, gender, doesn't matter. Go through things. And what people go through is based off of the decisions that they make. And this is why it's so important just to forgive yourself and realize that we make choices in life, but trying to hold on to them and beat yourself up and compare yourself, or feeling like you got to start over, that you have something to prove, what does that do for you? Like, me personally, I don't feel the need, and I don't understand, why should I feel the need like I'm far behind in life? Why should you feel like you're too old? Like, to who? Who said that? Now, if you're like 90 years old, okay, cool. Like, because it's like, And 90, you know, people used to live to like, 100. So it's like 90, 100 years old. I could understand then, but more than likely you're not 90 years old watching this. And if you are, you still have time. Like, as long as you have breath in your body, because that's what is not expected, is your life and living forever. Do what you need to do. Like, do what you need to do. Like, and what I mean by that is start over as many times as you need to. Like, figure things out for yourself. The more you can take risk and figure out what's working for you and what's not, the more you're able to see, like, okay, what is for me? What is my purpose? If you feel like you don't have a purpose, if you weren't taught and shown how to be confident or how to be successful or how to survive in this life. It's okay that you grew up in dysfunction. It's okay that you come from a corrupt environment. Why? You don't have to stay there. Like I said, if you grew up in poverty and now all of a sudden you want to become financially literate and you want to become financially educated and you want to increase your finances, you could do that. That just means now you're going to have to invest into an accountant. Maybe you're going to have to invest into an IRA. Maybe you're going to have to open a business. Maybe you're going to have to become an entrepreneur. Maybe you're going to have to work 2-3 jobs, start saving and invest into yourself until you're able to do so. Maybe you're going to have to downsize. Maybe you're going to have to relocate. Like, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to grow in order for you to be redirected. You're not going to be able to move forward or realize that some things are not working for you and some things are if you don't experience them. Like, you don't have to be ashamed. So it's like, until you work on your insecurities, until you work on stop being ashamed of yourself, you're constantly going to feel like you have to start over when you're just being redirected. You're just aligning yourself. And it's like, a lot of times we know who we are. Even if you weren't able to express yourself and you had to suppress yourself growing up, maybe you weren't safe or felt heard, or maybe you didn't feel confident, you know what you like because you're on YouTube. If you're watching this video and you keep watching these videos, you like these videos. This is what is in alignment with you. Continue to focus on that. Continue, like I said, take what resonates, leave the rest. If you don't like these videos, then it's not for you. You don't need to be here and you're not going to keep watching it. Same thing when you watch other people's videos, when you go outside, like, be accountable. Until you learn how to be accountable, you're constantly going to feel like you have to start over in life. And that is what has helped me along my healing journey. The more and more I started to hold myself accountable and I realized where I went wrong and what I didn't know or what I didn't have, and versus what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. And I was able to educate myself. I was able to equip myself. I was able to put myself in a position to do better. Things were what they were. But it's like, being angry, being frustrated doesn't help us. Your healing journey is for you, and it's not a one size fits all. So it's like, take the years, take the months, take whatever you need to do, and just take your time. Take your time and enjoy your life. You get one life to be you in this life. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you feel good. Everything else doesn't matter. So with that being said, thank you guys, like I said, for always watching these videos and always turning your post notifications. I recently just checked my analytics. You guys be having your notifications. So thumbs up to you. Thumbs up to this video, as well as following me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, because for the month of December, for the rest of it, I'm going to be going live talking about these things and just answering whatever questions that I didn't address, as well as let me know in the comment section down below, and booking your service in your session if you're ready to just, continue to be redirected, or you just have personal questions or whatever. But you don't have to constantly start over once you commit to yourself. And if you need to watch videos on how to do that, let me know if you guys want a part 2, or just watch all the other videos, because I've already made a video talking about that. Okay? Love you. Bye.